Welcome to Radio Static Productions. First off, I'd like to thank everyone who has listened to our stories, commented, subscribed. So, once again, thank you for listening. Sit back and enjoy our story. Come along as I tackle another case of mystery and intrigue, gathering clues and information along the way. Meet some lowlifes and good friends as I discover the truth of this situation. I am William Nickels, Private Investigator. Welcome back, listeners. Chapter 8, No Picket Fences. This one's titled No Picket Fences. But first, a word from our sponsors. Wondering what to make for dinner? Try Mrs. Finnegan's Insta-Meals. These frozen entrees consist of creamy potatoes, tender roast beef, and the always requested Salisbury steak and mixed vegetables. Mrs. Finnegan's Insta-Meals. Old-fashioned taste, fresh from the freezer. Available at fine grocers everywhere. Not responsible for obesity, high blood pressure, or food coma. Pick yours up today. Now back to our program. Welcome back. Chapter 8, No Picket Fences. It was no cozy evening with white picket fences in town last night. No morning coffee sitting on the porch swing, even if I had one. All night and into the morning, the weather couldn't make up his mind. There was thunder and lightning, light showers, then hail and windy downpours. There were fire trucks and police sirens late into the night going up and down the streets. It made sleeping difficult, but I did manage. The rain made the eaves into waterfalls, sidewalks into rivers, turned puddles into ponds, and lakes where there should only be streets. The rain didn't stop until early afternoon. I stopped in at the Codsworths. The Mrs. and Penny were running errands. I thanked Mr. Codsworth for the food and the hot plate, and that I appreciated it very much. I asked Mr. Codsworth how his apartment project was coming along. He grumbled about the city and needed a fridge and a cook stove. I told him I'll keep my eyes out for good used ones, and he thanked me. Frank didn't open up his shop until mid-afternoon because it was raining so hard. Nobody was on the streets. The only people that I saw out, even now on the streets, were the city workers cleaning out the drains to make the lakes back into streets again. Frank, that was a nasty storm. Give me 2 sweet rolls and a coffee.
Billy, I'm a food vendor, not a duck. I saw those rain clouds and took my cart home early yesterday. Today isn't much better. I had to wear my rubber galoshes, and I think one of them has a hole in it.
I looked down at Frank's feet, and there was water rolling over the toes of his bright yellow rubber boots. Frank, have you seen any really nice cars cruising the streets lately? You know, big land yachts? Cream-colored?
No cream color, but I've seen Midnight Blue sports car. That's the cat's meow. A few other nice cars, but nothing cream colored.
Do you know what kind of a car the greenhouse owners have?
They got 2 trucks, no cars, and nothing fancy. I can be sure of that. I pass by there every day on my way here.
How about the antique and pawn shop?
I know you got a coffee pot over there. You just need me around now for information. Must be for a case. You having all these questions for
Frank,
me today?
I put a bit more change in this tip jar. Frank, I will always get my first cup of coffee and breakfast from you. But you don't work in the rain, or early mornings or late nights.
The Codsworth grabbed the last of my chili before I got rained out yesterday. They told me how the city is doing, and I have a feeling it won't be long before us food vendors will disappear too.
No, they wouldn't get rid of food vendors. Maybe you just need to upgrade.
Get a food truck like Ice Cream Man. My feet would be dry. That might work. The antique key shop and pawn have a van truck with a logo on it.
Thank you, Frank. Here, have an extra tip for your rainy day fund. I needed to get to the dry cleaners, not sure if they are open today since it is Sunday, and run a few other errands. I stopped by the office and was sitting at Penny's desk going over some notes when Detective Eddie walked in, looking tired and really agitated. Hello, Eddie. Let me get your car keys. Hate to say this, but you look like you could use a few more hours of sleep. Good afternoon. Yes, I could use more sleep, Billy. The keys can wait. I need to ask you something. Okay, I'm all ears. Eddie went and sat at my desk, then got up, paced back and forth, drinking his coffee. I have a puzzle for you, and you need to be up front with me. I looked under that hood that I saw Barney and you looking under at the scrapyard. I know what is there. I also know that Barney wouldn't be dealing with items like that. The kid in lockup fessed up for taking the coins, but nothing else. I think Jimmy, Flip, Foyer, took those artifacts from the museum. Barny Phelps hired me. I don't think the higher-ups at the department would really care at this point. They just want to pin someone down for stealing those artifacts from the museum. That's why I didn't say anything. I think they worked as a team. The kids get into the place, and it just rolls along from there. There might be a chance that someone might be trying to run Barney off his property. Eddie sat down at my desk, drinking his coffee. I walked over to him, handed him one of my sweet rolls, and I sat back down at Penny's desk. Why? What? A junkyard? That's a screwball idea. I want to hear this one. He was beyond tired by the way his eyes looked dark, circled and baggy, and his face was pale without expression and really short-tempered. If someone was to get rid of the junk, you have prime real estate right off the interstate, and then bulldoze the rundown houses, the apartments, and factories. Dang-nammit, the city and their blasted urban development craze. The fire and the police department, even waste management. We can't handle the urban sprawl on the north end. We're pushed over our limits. Look at the lakes in the street. Even the school flooded last night. There are fewer and fewer blue-collar workers. I know, that was just a bad rainstorm. What if? Yeah, Billy, what if? What if it was something worse? The police department couldn't keep up with all the calls last night. The fire department even had to help out. I thought the interstate was supposed to make emergency response quicker in a national or state emergency, but the interstate was flooded too. I made some coffee in the office. No wonder why everyone seemed so grumpy this morning. Maybe disliking the rain to begin with isn't all bad. And I did sleep last night. I didn't say anything to Eddie until I could smell the coffee brewing. Eddie, do you think we were looking for Fancy Cigar Man and Scar Nose? Could they be the middleman for the collector? Or are they on the low end of the totem pole for the land grab to frame Barney? Wouldn't know. Those two guys just go through the back door to the fence and grab the stuff back. Why did they leave the body there? If they killed him, did the city hire them to get the land? To blame the Phelps boys? Nothing but more questions. And no easy answers. Barney, locked up that back door. Let me find that stolen inventory sheet on Penny's desk over here. I was looking at the inventory list, and I explained to Eddie the lock that Barney put on the back door. I also told him that Scrappy was to call me if those two showed up, and that the police needed to be there to catch those two in the act of possession of stolen antiquities, so Barny Phelps would be in the clear. They're going to have to go through the front gate or climb over the fence. I looked up from Penny's desk. Eddie had his feet kicked up on my desk, leaning back in my chair, and he was sleeping. I grabbed myself some coffee and went back to Penny's desk and dug through the files on anything that might relate to property disputes. There was a scribbled note with RPG Northcliffe, circled call attorney, double underlined. Must be Penny's personal business. I leaned back in the chair, looked up at the ceiling, and thought about all that has been going on. Urban decay, urban sprawl, overworked city workers, closed factories, housing changes. Petty crime is decreasing. Other crimes will increase. Infrastructure failed. Flooded schools. Flooded interstate. Clock ticking. Not sure how long I sat there thinking and staring at the ceiling, or maybe I dozed off too. Eddie was still snoozing in my chair. He needed it. I heard a loud wham. I jumped. Something just hit my large window, splattered, and was oozing down it. And that's the end. This one's titled No Picket Fences. Chapter 8 of No Picket Fences. Please remember to comment, subscribe, share with your friends. This is Radio Static Productions. This now ends our broadcasting day.